Hello class and welcome to Module 3-1. This is going to be your second milestone, Milestone 2, on Trends in Ethics. This is a draft that you're going to be doing for this assignment. And what I want to do is I just want to walk you through a quick overview, show you a couple things that I'm going to make available to you from a referencing standpoint, which may make things a little easier for you. So the first thing I want you to do is recognize in your module you've got this description. So we're asking you to submit a draft of the trends portion of the final project, and that's going to be sections 2 and 3. And then there's this analysis that it's being asked of you to complete on that information. Now this information realistically shouldn't be written already, so this should be a new document that you're pulling together, because we're going to be pulling at it by looking at trends in ethics. Okay, so those two areas, from a corporate social responsibility perspective, sustainability, business ethics, how the impact is going to be driven by internal and external sides, and how that's going to affect not only your corporate strategy, but your brand development, decision-making processes, and all of these, kind of fit together. So what I want to do is, if we just jump into, I'll call it the requirements portion of what this is. So if you click on your final project guidelines and rubric, or the milestone 2 guidelines and rubric, it's going to drive you to, let's just go to final project. It's going to drive you to this page, and it's going to talk about the 4 different milestones. So those 4 different items that you're writing. So in Module 1, you wrote about the background information of the company. This is where we're going to be covering a different section of it. So you can see that in Module 1, here's what you were covering, that background information. Now we're going to be writing the next piece of it, which is going to be trends in ethics. It's sections 2 and 3. So what I've done is I've taken this information and I've decomposed it off into a Word document, and I'm making that available to you. And that Word document looks like this. So if you just go in, and I'm going to make one change to it, because I've got it set up right now in Arial from a font standpoint. So I'm going to go make this a change to Times New Roman. And once I do that, and I make it Times New Roman, it is now APA format acceptable. So the template I'm giving you looks just like this. So if you use this as a start, I think you'll get a lot further than if you're trying to pull information out and glean it in different ways. So approach this as a bare bones template. One section is on trends, one section is on ethics. The grading rubric lines up with this one for one, identical. So if you describe under trends and in this section for business environment, if you do this information and you write it in that section and drop it into here, and then go to the next one under description and the next one under impact, and if you answer the questions that are provided for you there based upon your company that you're analyzing, and then come down and do the same thing for ethics and drop that in, I think you're going to find that this is a great way to go. Okay, so I've basically decomposed the grading rubric and I've pulled it out to show you exactly what's required. So let's just go ahead and I'll minimize this, get it out of the way, and then we'll go back to our initial area that we were talking about. Let's go into the grading rubric. You'll see that it's the same information specifically on the grading rubric. You're looking for an 8 to 10 page Microsoft Word document with double spacing, 12-point, Times New Roman font, 1-inch margins, and sources cited in APA format. The document I'm going to make available to you as a template has all of that built into it already. Okay, so make sure you take a look at this. You'll see that the points are broken down exactly as to how they're identified up here. Business environment, and then trends for description, trends for impact, and then ethics issues, ethics alignment, ethics sustainability. All of that's identified along with articulation, which is going to be the APA check. This will be where I look for any grammar errors. So make sure you do a grammar check. Make sure somebody does a pre-read of this for you prior to submitting. I always find that what I used to do was I would work on a paper late into the evening, and then when it looked good to me, I would post it. And then I found out that my grades weren't as good as if I had just tried to do that a day earlier, and then when I was fresh in the morning, go through and look for issues, I would start to find things. So do that as a strategy. Also have someone else read it, and they will point to areas that are either confusing for you or for them, or areas that they might recommend changes. So do that prior to submitting. I think you're going to find that we're going to have you over on the proficient side, and that's where I'm always shooting to get you to that proficient side. If I feel that you've really missed the mark on something, I will recommend a rewrite. I will recommend you doing a resubmission of it, and depending on how quickly that resubmission is submitted, sometimes there's no impact to it because I'm asking for just a little bit more clarification. If you don't get an assignment in on time, make sure under all circumstances that you go ahead and submit it late so I can provide you partial credit. There's an impact of 10% of whatever the total, you know, if the assignment was worth 50 points, that would be 5 points for submitting it late. But make sure you get everything submitted. Let's go ahead and get milestone 2 completed, and then you're going to find milestone 3 fits. Milestone 4 is going to be where we weave everything together. It's going to look great. So I am really impressed with the companies you're either working for or have selected. And these analyses are really, really impactful. They're great for me to read. I think you're going to enjoy putting it together for yourself. Okay? Have a great Module 3-1. Let's have fun. Goodbye.